Welcome to the 2025 Top End T20 Series, sponsored by NT Tourism. We are at TIO Stadium to start the first of 4 games across today. And we have the Melbourne Renegades Academy against the ACT Comets. My name is Dominic McCormack. With me is Will Zwar. And I'd like to start this broadcast by acknowledging the Larrakia people, the traditional owners of the land we are on, and pay my respects to elders past, present and emerging. I'd also like to extend that respect to any Aboriginal and Torres Strait Islander people watching this broadcast. Earlier today we had the bat flip here at TIO Stadium. So the 2 captains out in the middle. And that bat toss was won by the Melbourne Renegades A team. And they have chosen to bowl today. So a little bit unusual, perhaps, Will, that they've chosen to bowl. Most times we've seen teams choosing to bat first, and that's often resulted in a win in this competition.
Yes, it has. Looking at the 5 games so far, well, 3 of the 5 have been won by the team who batted first. Renegades were one of those yesterday. Interestingly, the ACT Comets in their first game, Game 2 yesterday against the Hobart Hurricanes, they also batted first but ended up losing that game. Looking at the lineup here for the ACT Comets, looking at Zach Keogh coming in at number 4. He was the top scorer for yesterday's game. With 66 runs. There's the Melbourne Renegades team. Looks like there is 2 changes to their team. So in comes Harry Hoekstra and Michael Archer. Out goes David Moody and the man of the match yesterday, Will Sutherland. Also a change in captain there, of course, with Will Sutherland going out. Oliver Peake now the captain for the Melbourne Renegades. So should be a cracking game here between the Renegades and the Comets. Nice day indeed here in Darwin. A beautiful dry season day. A little bit breezy, just as it was for our broadcast game yesterday, but clear conditions. The ground is looking in magnificent condition. I'm disappointed, in fact, that Will Sutherland's not playing, but no doubt we'll get to see him again soon.
Are you looking to hit your studies for 6? Make the move to Australia's Northern Territory and start a world-class partnership where your potential can glide through boundaries and you can rack up runs in places you never imagined. Enjoy our laid-back lifestyle and help us build what's next. When this over is over, think about getting on a good wicket and consider studying in Australia's Northern Territory. Authorised by the Northern Territory Government, Darwin.
Visiting Darwin, Australia? Make your stay a winning one at Darwin Airport Resorts. Just minutes from the airport and a short drive to the city, it's the ideal base for travellers chasing sun, culture or the cricket. With 3 comfortable hotels, 2 inviting pools and 2 on-site dining options, everything you need is right here. Relax, recharge and enjoy the top end at Darwin Airport Resorts.
Umpires going out onto the ground here for this match between the Melbourne Renegades A team and the ACT Comets, and they are, of course, today Rob Stewart and Simon Burns. No doubt they'll have control of the game and control it beautifully. Melbourne Renegades played very well yesterday, Will, in their match against the crosstown rivals, of course, the Melbourne Stars. And the Melbourne Renegades, last over, they won that match by 4 runs. So really, really exciting contest. The ACT Comets played against the Hobart Hurricanes Academy. Sadly for them, the Hobart Hurricanes won by 7 wickets. Close game, though, 4 balls remaining. And they didn't miss that one by much, the ACT Comets, so well done to them.
Yeah, you'd think they'll be out for revenge. Obviously, there's only 6 games in this tournament, so if you get a couple of losses early, it can be really hard to make up that ground. Meanwhile, for the Renegades, if they get 2 on the trot here, they'll set themselves up for the week nicely.
Yeah, they will. Interesting to see the way that they approach these games. You know, Will Sutherland out as captain today. You got Michael Archer in, Harry Hoekstra in. I love the way that these games are used by these teams as a as a training mission as well. This is about introducing younger players, adding experience to your squad. I mean, that's a really impressive thing about this comp.
And as you noted, the Melbourne Renegades opted to bowl first. I wonder if that might have something to do with the weather as well. It's a lovely 27 degrees here. It's going to get warmer, though, as the day progresses, and maybe they've thought, if we're all going to be out on the field, let's do it early while it's still warming up and let the Comets go out when it's nice and hot later on in the day.
Yeah, that wouldn't surprise me at all if that's the call. It might be our winter, but this is still pretty warm for most people that come here. Harry Hoekstra to open the bowling here for the Renegades. One of the ins who'll be relishing his opportunity to play. Here he comes for the first ball of this game here at TIO Stadium. Nice line and length, but it's a no ball for his first trundle for the morning. So Brose on strike. That is Nick Brose for the ACT Comets. Just had a good look at that and decided to let it go, and has an opportunity now for a free hit. So potentially a nice way to get into your innings early. Hoekstra in again. Good pace on that one. Free hit. Oh, it is done well, Hoekstra, to just cramp him up a little bit there. Was not able to get that one through the covers, was Hoekstra. Be a bit disappointed not able to take that opportunity.
You mentioned easing into the innings early. Last night in the NT versus Nepal game, Dom, 19 runs were scored off that first over. Almost half of them were extras and sundries. So the Nepalese team took them a while to get used to the conditions. I think they ended up having a pretty good contest of it, but started pretty slow.
Hoekstra. Gee, another slash there from Brose. Just going backward of point and perhaps a little bit fortunate on the first bounce there to the Renegades fielder in Arjun Nair, who had a good match yesterday against the Stars. Well and truly a loosener there for Nick Brose. So he's had 3 looks at it and hasn't really been able to make the contact that he would have liked. That's a little better. Slashes that one away through cover, the left-hander. Good fielding in the outfield. They'll come back for their 2. Oh, it's another no ball, Will. So, Hoekstra, he has not started this game as he would have liked.
No, coming into the side, would have wanted to make an impact early. Obviously wasn't in yesterday's lineup, and he's opening the bowling attack today, but a couple of no balls in the first over of the match, not what you want.
Brose reaches for that one. No call of wide. So through to the keeper. And again, Harry Hoekstra's bowled his no balls, but his follow-up delivery has actually been quite a good one. He's been able to get away with a dot ball on each occasion.
Second fault specialist.
Second fault specialist. There you go. Well, I'll tell you what, if you make a mistake in life, the best thing you can do next is learn from it. And that's exactly what he's doing here. Advancing is Brose. The high up and under across mid-wicket. Field and they'll jog through again for an easy 2. So 4 legitimate deliveries bowled by Hoekstra. He's sitting on none for 6. So having bowled 2 no balls, he's extremely fortunate to be sitting on, in fact, none for 7. And that was a no ball as well. So he's bowled 3 no balls now. Full toss, belted away there. That's a beautiful shot through mid-on. And that will be the first boundary for the ACT Comets. And again, another no ball. So 6 runs, a no ball, and now a free hit. Cracking shot from Nick Brose.
Yeah, not the start that the Melbourne Stars would have wanted at all. Didn't think we'd see for Melbourne Renegades, didn't think we'd see a repetition of last night's effort, that first over from Nepal I saw, but it's already looking that way with 4 no balls.
Well, Harry Hoekstra just needs to take a moment here and compose himself and look to close out this over in a really positive fashion. Back in his crease, Nick Brose pulls that one away through square. And just the single. So again, after each no ball, Harry Hoekstra has been able to either generate a dot ball or on that occasion a single. Just needs to tidy up the remainder, Will.
Yeah, if you take all of them out, he's only conceded 1 run off the 4 balls. It's a pretty good over when you look at it, but the other 4 no balls, not so much.
The scoreboard says otherwise. That's a good ball. Gee, the team was up, appealing for LBW. That squared up Juby there. That was his first ball. That's much better from Harry Hoekstra. One more legitimate delivery to be bowled in this over. And I'm hoping for his sake that he's able to get out of it cleanly. Already conceded 15 runs for the over. That is exactly the start the ACT Comets would have been looking for. Juby just onto the leg side there and fielded at mid-wicket. So Harry Hoekstra does indeed escape with another dot ball to finish off, but none for 15 after the first over, the ACT Comets. That is a fantastic start for them. Certainly not the start that the Renegades would have been after. Nick Brose after that, 11 off 8, including a 6 off a no ball. And Juby, yet to score.
Yeah, good start from the ACT Comets. They made the most of their opportunities there, and Renegades gave them plenty as well. Almost half of those balls in that over were no balls, including one which was a 6. 7 runs for their troubles. Now coming into the lineup, it will be Xavier Crone coming from that southern end.
Yes, that was a beautiful 6. Hit right over long on. Now it's Crone, who bowled well yesterday against the Stars. Oh, that's a beautiful delivery. Straight off. Clean bowled. Brose is gone. 11 from 9. And I just made the comment that I thought Crone had bowled well yesterday. Well, his start here is nothing short of perfect. 1 for none off 1 for Xavier Crone. Well, Nick Brose had made an enterprising start there, Will, assisted by multiple no balls, but Crone bowling directly at the stumps. He missed everything. That is Brose, straight through.
Yeah, not the way that you'd want to go. Really promising start, and he might have maybe gotten a little bit ahead of himself. Thought this is going to be easy. Plenty of no balls. I can just swing my way around TIO Stadium here, but wasn't to be. Maybe let his guard down a little bit, and the change in attack has just let one slip through.
Ball might have swung a little bit there too. Will just swung into him slightly. And certainly caught him off guard. So Mikey McNamara comes to the crease as first drop for the ACT Comets. So Juby's only faced the 2 balls. McNamara now to face his first. It's a fascinating game, this T20. It can just change so quickly. 1 minute you're cruising at 15 off the first over. Next thing, your first wicket is down. So McNamara, a task in front of him here to take the moment, steady the ship. Pressure on here with mid on and mid off in. That's a nice shot there from McNamara. Pulled that one away through square leg. And they just jogged through for the single. It's a nice start from him. Bat on ball straight away. Nice breeze again here today at TIO Stadium. Very clear day. It will get hot later on, no question about that. But beautiful conditions here in the ground in fantastic nick. Crone again, full. And that one there just pushed to cover quickly onto it and a shy at the stumps. Good backing up there.
Juby just easing in as well. He's faced 3 balls. Yet to get a run, he faced the last 2 balls of that first over against Hoekstra. 2 dot balls, though. Yet to get off the mark.
So Crone certainly doing the job here. Wicket, a single and a dot ball. Juby on strike. Cracked that one away beautifully through point. Nice looking shot. He gets his first run of the morning. And the score just moving along slowly now after a bit of a weird first over, which conceded 15 runs. The ACT now find themselves on 1 for 17. 2 more balls to come in this Crone over, which has been really tight.
Yeah, and it's amazing what such a tight over can do after, you know, such a blemish. Suddenly the run rate's looking relatively average.
Crone in full again. Good shot, good run. Shy at the stumps. In the end, bounced over easily. But well done there to McNamara. Cracked it there to mid-wicket. And was on his bike straight away. Went with the shot. Juby another opportunity now. Doing exactly what they need to do here. Just turning over the strike nicely. Nice delivery again from Crone, and good quick call too. Yeah, nicely done. Through for the quick single. Good cricket all round there. Nice ball, dabbed away nicely through back of point. And then the quick single. So well done to the Comets. They just kept turning over the scoreboard there. And after 2 overs, the ACT Comets find themselves at 1 for 19. And Crone, a good first over. 1 wicket for 4.
Yeah, they've gotten that run rate back down to below 10. The Melbourne Renegades. The Comets, that's still a pretty handy run rate if they can somewhat maintain that. Obviously, they got a few extras in that first one that they wouldn't have expected to, but I think we've sort of been saving an average of sort of 180 in this competition. So, yeah, if you're sort of looking at around that 9.5 where they are at the moment, you're probably looking for a pretty handy score.
Arjun Nair coming into bowl here, Will. So, turning to spin. 3rd over. Bowled well yesterday against the Stars. And I love the way he comes in. You can see him, he's a right arm over and he sort of hides the ball behind his right hip. You can see him there, look at that. Just hides it away. Volley to Juby. Juby up and over, extra cover. There's a man there tried to go for the catch, couldn't quite see the ball clearly. Over his right shoulder there, and they jog through for 2. So Juby now really easing into his work. 4 off 6. Trying to go over the infield in these early overs while there's opportunity to do so. Oh, he's gone down on the knee and he's been given. Arjun Nair picks up a wicket with his 2nd delivery. And Juby, I was just saying, he's easing into his work. He's gone.
It looked like he sort of went for a bit of a reverse there. I'm not sure if that was necessarily the trick. In fact, it's fair to say it probably wasn't. He's ended up out in a way he probably shouldn't have gone out.
The umpire took a moment there too, Will, just to have a look, have a think, and then raise the finger. Arjun Nair was convinced, so were his teammates. And I think you and I, of the games that we've called so far, Will, we've seen this reverse sweep. It has not worked on most occasions.
No, not once. Not once.
And Dave Juby will be wishing that he just left that in the hip pocket on that occasion, because it has not worked for him. Down on one knee, reverse sweep, out LBW. Keogh to come in. Zach Keogh it is. And the ACT Comets, well, they are in early trouble after picking up 15 runs in the first over. 2nd ball of the 3rd, they're now 2 for 21. And Arjun Nair will have his confidence up there. Looking to take on the spinner was Dave Juby, and out 2nd ball faced.
Could be confidence coming up against confidence here, Dom. Zach Keogh, the top scorer in the Comets innings yesterday with 66.
He was man of the match, I think, wasn't he?
Yes, he was, yes. Despite them falling a little bit short. And I think the next drop, Tom Hogan as well, was their best bowler of the day as well. Okay. So an all-rounder, but some good prospects coming up in the Comets lineup.
Yeah, it's great to see them here in Darwin. They came here last year as well for this competition, and yeah, I'm sure that their players learn heaps from playing against these academy teams that are associated with the Big Bash competition here in Australia. Zach Keogh just taking a moment here to get himself ready. Arjun Nair tucking that ball behind his right leg there. In he comes. The secretive Nair. Oh, that one on the bounce. And Keogh just eases that one through mid-wicket. Takes a single. So off the mark easily there. The McNamara back on strike. He's only faced the 2 balls, made the 2 runs. But this game moving pretty quickly if you're an ACT Comets player, and quickly in the wrong direction. 2 for 22. McNamara just looking to steady himself here. The well-flighted delivery there. Right up in the block hole. Cracked away again through mid-on. Jogged through for the single.
Just sustaining it a little bit, trying to take a little bit of pep out of Arjun there at the moment. That run rate has been brought back right down to really tight overs so far from Crone and now Nair.
Slash that one away back of point. That nice fielding too. Immediately the call was no. Very different conditions here to what most players in this competition would be experiencing down the moment, particularly having come from Southern Australia. As we see Keogh just pushing that one through mid-wicket, and again they jog through for an easy single, and Arjun Nair closes out his over, and what a good one it was too. 1 for 5 off his first, so he and Crone, as you say, will have really put the clamps on here. After 3 overs, the Comets 2 for 24 after they were none for 15 from the first.
Yeah, interesting to, I guess, see how the various lineups have settled into their batting lineup. I noticed, I think last night it was that Nepalese side again. They had about 5 different bowlers in the first 5 overs. Yesterday, just taking a quick look at the Renegades, they had 5 different ones. In fact, 6 different ones from their first 6 overs as well, before Fergus O'Neill was the first to give his second over in the 7th.
So a little bit of a change up here then.
Yeah, they're going to stick with Crone here. Probably a good move to give Hoekstra a back seat and just let him see and observe how the other bowlers start off here. But Crone, he's in good form at the moment. Good bowling yesterday, and he's already got 1 wicket today. Just 4 runs he's conceded.
On the money again too. That ball pushed through cover. Shy at the stumps is good, and the backing up is equally as good. Keogh through for a quick single. He looks very well organised, doesn't he, Zach Keogh? He hasn't messed around at all. Every ball that he's faced so far, he's secured a run. Except for his first, I think, which may have been a dot ball. It's a 3 or 4 for him. McNamara 3 or 3. A powerful looking fellow, Keogh, so I can't wait to see him get into his work later on. Oh, that's a quick delivery there from Crone. Well taken by Lemire. Jai Lemire behind the stumps. Another dot ball to Crone.
Keogh's coming off winning the DB Robin Medal for the Male Premier Cricketer of the Year and the Solway Medal for ACT Comets Player of the Year in Canberra. So he's very settled, very experienced cricketer, you'd think. And from what we've seen so far today, he's just settling in rather nicely.
And making the decision to bowl, looking very good. Oh, slower delivery there and charging through. Keogh with the call. He called well. Crone was the man who was going to get to the ball first, and Keogh knew that he was going to be able to run that one through before he got there. Score ticks along to 2 for 26. And Crone certainly knows what he's doing here.
Mikey McNamara down the other end. He'll also be pulling on the gloves later on in the day when he's keeping for this side as well.
Nice quick delivery again from Crone. Nice shot through the covers there from Keogh, and a call from McNamara saying no, and a good call it was too. I think Keogh was keen for the 2, but a good arm out there from the Renegades player in Harry Dixon. We saw that fielding again yesterday too against the Stars in that close contest. Crone being beautifully supported here by his... So McNamara and Keogh looking very even here, 4 or 5 each. Again, a good delivery from Crone. Smack straight back down the field. And they come through for the single. So Crone doing the job here for his captain in peak today. It's dot balls or ones. And you cannot ask for much more in this form of cricket.
Just that 1-6 for the innings so far, which came off a dot ball, off a no ball in that first over. Aside from that, Dom, as you said, just singles. 1-2 in there and a few threes off no balls in that first over.
I'll be looking to finish strongly here, Crone. This has been a really good over. Again, the bounce of the big swing, and he does finish well. Challenged him with that one, and Keogh just could not get bat on ball. So Crone finishes that over with a dot. 1 for 8 off his 2. And the Comets, they sit on 2 for 28 after 4 overs. Lemire reaching for the helmet here too, Will. So that is an obvious hint, I think, that we're going to spin again.
It looks like it's going to be Michael Archer, who is one of the players coming into the side for today's game as well. So his first look at it. Hoekstra, the other one, his first over, well, he'd rather have that again. 15, he conceded off that. And since then, amazingly, Dom, they've only conceded 13 in the next 3 overs. So that run rate has been brought right back down.
Here he comes. Nice delivery straight away, just tucked away on the leg side. And again, just a single. Quickly onto it there for the Renegades was Joshua Brown. I was impressed with his batting effort yesterday. No doubt he'll be looking forward to being back out in the middle again. So a good start there from Michael Archer, his first delivery. Well, that's a bit flat, that one. On the bounce, out through square leg. And again, the single, this time to Keogh. So Michael Archer enjoying his opportunity here. Right arm over. Oh, didn't know too much about that, did Mikey McNamara. Dot ball there to Michael Archer.
Archer started very tight as well.
But interesting there, McNamara just having a chat to the umpire. That actually bounced up and hit him in the grill. So much more bounce, I think, than what he was expecting. Again, just a little bit of turn there. McNamara managing to get it away behind point. Quickly in. Gee, the fielding's been very good so far. Harry Hoekstra, he might have had a poor first over, but he was quickly onto that. Straight into Lemire, who took it nicely. In fact, that was a no ball. So a free hit here. So the 2 ins have had a little bit of trouble here, Will, with overstepping. Keogh.
Oh, bang.
Has gone the big shot. High, up and under. It's going to fall short of the boundary. It does. Pitch is just inside. They'll be able to collect and bring that back in. Keogh comes through for 2 runs. So he got hold of it, but it went higher than he would have liked. Longer was what he was after. So Keogh 7 off 8, McNamara 7 off 9. Just pushes that one through mid-wicket. And through again for the quick single. So it's predominantly singles at the moment, Will, which is not really what they would have been after in these early overs.
No, especially not after that start, and it was a bit of a, I guess, unsettling start from a batter's perspective of well, couldn't quite find.
Archer, that's a nice delivery. Tucked away there through square. And again, Brown onto that one quickly, and they can only take the single again. So despite the 1 no ball, Archer's come through that pretty well.
Yeah, they couldn't quite find their groove, I guess, in that first over, just because there was so many stops and you know, no balls and that sort of thing. But they would have looked at it and thought, 15, gee, this is going to be pretty easy hitting today. Not to be, though. Since then, 4 runs, 5 runs, 4 runs. And off that last one, first from Michael Archer, I think just 6 runs as well. 8 runs it was in the end.
Yep, 8 runs from his first over. And now coming into bowl, they're going with spin again. So Callum Stowe has come in for the Renegades. So left arm spinner. He gets to have a look at McNamara here and vice versa. So after 5, 2 for 36, the Comets. Oh, he's got him. Clean bowled with the first ball. Just stepped back a little bit there, did McNamara. Opened up the stumps, and I think he's clipped the top of off. So not what McNamara was looking for, but Callum Stowe. What a first delivery from him. 1 for none off 1. Exactly the same start that Crone had in his first over. So McNamara gone for 8 off 11. And the ACT Comets here, 3 for 36 at the beginning of the 6th over here at TIO Stadium.
Yeah, just when you sort of thought that McNamara and his counterpart, Zach Keogh, were building a foundation they could sort of launch off, one of them's gone and sort of disrupted. But as I mentioned, this next fella, Tom Hogan, he's coming in. Looking forward to seeing what he's got. He was probably their best bowler yesterday. I think he took only 1 wicket for 25, but that was the best economy for the side. But he's an all-rounder as well. Selected in the Australian under-19 squad to play India in Brisbane in September.
Well, Tom Hogan, he's certainly got an opportunity, and he's certainly got some time to spend out in the middle here. Still to come later today, 2 p.m, Stars against the Hurricanes at DXC Arena. 4 o'clock, Pakistan play the Scorchers here at TIO Stadium. And at 6 p.m, it is Bangladesh taking on Nepal at DXC Arena. So much fantastic cricket in this top End T20 Series. Major sponsor, of course, NT Tourism. Really enjoying some terrific cricket in this competition, and just seeing so many different players, literally from different nations around the world. Such a privilege to have here in Darwin. Hogan now looking to face his ball from Callum Stowe, who's had the perfect start, the left arm spinner. Second delivery's a nice one, squares him up, manages to just flick it back of square and jog through for the single. Just Tom Hogan, so always get your first run, even better when you can get it on your first ball.
Callum Stowe, some good bowling yesterday. If you remember, he gave away sort of 2 relatively easy 6s in his first 2 overs, but otherwise he was really tight bowling, conceding 11, 5 and 4.
He's made a good start here. That's a nice shot, though, from Keogh. Just opened up through extra cover. And again, jogs through for the single. He's a big man, Keogh. I get the sense he's just looking to open up, but he's taking his time here, which he really needs to, given the position that the Comets are in, Will. 3 for 38 only in the 6th over. It's not really the time to lash out.
No, as I said, just want to build something they can launch off in a few overs' time.
Stowe. Another nice delivery there, and Hogan just easing that. It's forward of point. Jogs through again for the single.
And Stowe, again, keeping it relatively tight. Been really good bowling so far from the Renegades.
Gives Keogh a little bit to work through there, and he pulls that through mid-wicket. Again, just for the single. You were sitting here, Will, and I can feel a bit of the breeze in our commentary position, but look to the flags across the ground, and it's certainly windy out there.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's a nice delivery again from Callum Stowe. Pushed away on the full there by Hogan. Got that out through mid-wicket and just jogs through for the single. So he's looked pretty good already, Hogan. And Callum Stowe finishes his over. That's a really good start. Precisely the start that Nair had. 1 for 5 off 1. So the Comets after 6, they're 3 for 41.
You mentioned that wind, Dom, and here at TO Stadium, it's part of a big sporting complex up here in Darwin, right on the edge of the airport. So it is prone to some pretty strong wind, and particularly during footy season, you'll notice that they call it the airport end. That's where a lot of goals are scored. Here it's the south end, the pitch obviously running north to south, but a lot of goals are scored heading down towards that airport end, the south end. And just as we speak, you might be able to hear one of those planes flying in overhead very serendipitously.
Good to see Harry Hoekstra back into the attack here for the Renegades. I like that captaincy from Peake. Let's see what the young man can do. That's a better delivery, just tucked away there through cover by Hogan. Again, he takes another single. I think, as you said before, Will, with these matches being used as opportunities to bring young players through, Peake perhaps just allowing Hoekstra to have a look at the game, just have a look at how players like Crone were taking this on, and now bringing him back in here in the 7th over. Here he comes. Oh, he's gone the bouncer, pulled away there, back of square by Keogh. Nair the good arm into Lemire. No damage done, only the single. So a much better start already here from Hoekstra.
Yeah, just needs to keep tight on that front foot. 4 no balls he had in that first over, including the first ball of the innings. And one of those turned into a 7-run deficit, smacked over the boundary line by Nick Brose. Since then, both opening batters have been sent back to the change rooms. Tom Hogan at the crease now.
That's a good delivery by Hoekstra, and he feels off his own bowling. So the young man's really picked up here, which is fantastic to see. 2 singles and a dot so far. Working his way through this 7th over nicely. Run rate for the Comets so far, 6.62. They'll certainly be looking to and will need to lift that if they are to be competitive in this match. Good again from Hoekstra. That's a cheeky, quick single and just misses. Good bowling, good fielding, and very, very cheeky from Tom Hogan.
Some really, really good running between wickets so far in this tournament, the top end series. That was probably as close as you've seen to a misfire.
I'll tell you what.
Just squeezed home, Dom.
I did. Keogh, I tell you what, he honoured the call there, didn't he, Keogh? He was on his bike and gone. Hoekstra, again on the money. And Keogh just eases his way there through mid-wicket. But I'm really impressed with the comeback here from Hoekstra. You'd have to say that his confidence would have been down after that first over. 4 no balls, 15 runs taken. His captain's taken him off. He's come back here in the 7th, and this has been really good. Let's see how he closes this out with Tom Hogan again back on strike. That's a good delivery. Just able to ease that one out through point. And he's conceded only the 5. In that has Harry Hoekstra, so well done to him. And after the 7th, the Comets, 3 for 46. Keogh finds himself on 12 runs, and Hogan, after that, is sitting on 6 off 7.
Yeah, much better over there from Hoekstra. That'd give him a little bit more confidence. As you said, he could have been a little bit rattled after that first one, conceded 15, and since then, barely a blemish for the Renegades Academy. I don't think they've given up a boundary since that first over. In fact, they haven't.
No, that was a cracking 6. The shot of the match so far. Callum Stowe now back into the action. Hogan on strike. He's gone for the big shot. Has not been able to get bat on ball. So again, a good start here from Callum Stowe. First ball in his first over was a wicket. Flights that one nicely. Pushed through to mid-off by Hogan. They jog through for the single.
After that first over as well, Dom, even that second over, we were talking about a pretty high runs total for the ACT Comets. Since then, as you can see on screen now, current run rate just 6.41. Very stingy bowling from the Gades.
Nice delivery again from Callum Stowe. Leading edge for Keogh. Fielding is good. Gee, they thought they had Hogan. The umpire is not in agreement. But yeah, the fielding's been good, Will. Like, they're onto that immediately. The man in close here, the captain, Oliver Peake, I should say, and just had that ripped into Lemire, and they bails off very quickly. Hogan. Get onto the leg side. They look to come through for the second on the bounce. Oh, he's gone this time.
There's the first misfire, you'd say, from the running from what we've seen so far this tournament. And maybe just thought there was enough there, but wasn't to be.
They were running through quickly. They called. They took it on, Keogh and Hogan. And Hogan on this occasion was not able to beat the arm. So Hogan goes. Disappointing for him. He was looking pretty good. 7 off 10. In fact, having run the single, it may in fact be 8 off 10. Zach Keogh down the other end, not happy with that. And the rotation continues here now for the ACT Comets. The next man in here for them is Isam Rahman.
All-round talent from Queen Bean. Rahman's been amongst the ACT setup since he was a junior, once trialling for a rookie spot with the Sydney Thunder as an under-16. He's currently playing here in Darwin, Dom, so another local boy, playing for the Darwin District's cricket club, Tracy Village.
That's good to see, isn't it? Here we go. He just whipped that ball there into mid-wicket. The arm was just too good. Terrific play there from the Renegades.
If his bowling yesterday's anything to go by, though, we won't see the last of Hogan today. He'll be back with the ball in the next innings, but disappointing way for him to end with bat in hand today.
So 4 wickets down now for the ACT Comets. I think it's fair to say they are in trouble here from wickets lost and lack of runs on the board. And Callum Stowe has been working into his bowling innings just beautifully here. Again, good flight, had bounce, beautifully taken by Lemire behind the stumps. Callum Stowe is on here. It's nicely done. Fires another one in. No is the call. There may indeed have been a run there, but not quite willing to go for it. There was Isam Rahman. And the end of Callum Stowe's over, another good one. 1 for 8 he is off his 2 overs. They're the most impressive figures, I would say, without question, in this bowling innings thus far.
Yeah, so far that's the tightest over we've had here. 1 for 8, just 3 off that. And one of those runs came off a wicket as well, with Tom Hogan being run out.
So Rahman faced 2 balls. No score for him yet. Keogh just methodically working his way along, 13 or 14. But just over 6 is their run rate at present, which clearly, Will, is just not enough in this competition.
No, not at all. You're probably tracking for 130 or something with a run rate like that. They really need to up it, and they really need to up it while they've got some quality batsmen as well. We don't want to get to the tail enders needing to be up that run rate.
So Nair back into the attack now. Good length, great fielding from Nair. That's superb. Throwing himself full length. Cutting that off. I dare say the ball's hit his hand hard and he's hit the ground hard there, Nair, but that's a superb effort from your bowler.
Keogh at the crease now. He's probably the biggest hitter, 66 yesterday.
Just dabs that one away nicely back of point. Goes through for the single. Was a direct hit too. Gee, the fielding's been so impressive from the Renegades. Another one there from Joshua Brown. They are on.
Is Sam Rahman, as we mentioned, from Tracy Village Cricket Club up here in the Darwin District Cricket Competition. I don't think he would have played much on this oval, which is typically held for AFL, but he would have played it yesterday and would at least be used to the weather and the sort of conditions that we're seeing up here at the moment, Dom.
Well, let's see whether he can put all of that local knowledge to good use on behalf of the Comets, because they certainly need him to do so. That's a beautifully flighted delivery. Pulls that away just behind square. And again, they jog through for the single. And that last single saw the ACT Comets reach their 50. So first ball here of the 9th over, 50 runs on the board for the Comets. They now sit at 4 for 51. And Nair just working away beautifully here in his second over, sitting on figures of 1 for 7. Another well-flighted delivery, but straight to the fielder there in Brown, and they're not going to chance his arm, given his last effort. So another dot ball. The spinners working beautifully in tandem here, Will.
Yeah, bowling has seemed to have settled for the Renegades at the moment. They've found their groove.
Good length again from Nair. One bounce to the outfield. Picked up there by Michael Archer, one of the ins this afternoon. And again, Zach Keogh doing it in singles. This time from Rahman. Giving a little bit of work to Michael Archer there in the outfield, and they come through for 2. So well done from Rahman. One more ball to come here. In fact, that's the end of the over from Nair. So well done to him. His figures 1 for 12 off his 2 overs. A couple of 2s in that over, which, dare I say it, will much needed here for the ACT Comets.
Yeah, it looked like Rahman nearly picked the gap there, but they just sort of haven't been as aggressive with the bat as you would have thought. It's not necessarily the placement. It is more, I guess, the style of strokes they're playing. They are just squeezing out those quick singles at the moment. The odd 2 where they can, but they probably need to start looking for some rope at some point.
Yes, at some point they're going to have to take a risk, aren't they? So back into it here is Archer. Oh, and he's got a wicket with the first ball of his second over, and he's taken the person who I thought was probably the key to the Comets making some runs, and that is Zach Keogh. What a delivery from Archer. He spun that ball straight past him, clipped the top of the stumps, and he's got his first for this match. Well done to Archer. Zach Keogh has to go 15 from 19. He was just steadily going along, accumulating 1s and 2s. But at the beginning of this 10th over, the ACT Comets now lose their 5th wicket. They find themselves in all sorts of trouble. 5 for 54, their run rate 5.89.
Yeah, some really good bowling, particularly off the spinners you've seen in this competition as well. That one was just perfect. Just nicked the top and sent the bails flying.
Yeah, beautiful delivery. Well done to Archer. Yeah. Opened it up and, in fact, clipped the top of his leg stump there, Keogh. So he won't be happy about that. I mean, no batsman ever is when they're out, but he will not be happy with that. He gave himself room to hit it, and perhaps it just didn't turn as much as he thought it was going to. So Marin now in for the ACT Comets. What can he do? One of the ins, Akshay Joseph, the man out for the Comets, and Zach Marin in. And Michael Archer, well, that'll give him a boost, that's for sure. He had started well. His first over, none for 8. First ball of his second is a wicket. Oh, that's a good ball. Marin didn't know too much about that. One strike on the pads.
Importantly for both sides, Dom, but that run rate has now dropped below 6. So they're going at less than a run per ball, which is nowhere near where you need to be.
And the spinner's just putting on the pressure here. Flighted that one nicely. Straight back to the bowler. Terrific over so far from Archer. We've seen a great over from Stowe, backed up by Nair, and now Archer's continuing. Good flight again. And the defensive shot only from Zach Marin. You might be able to hear through the effects there the congratulations from his teammates to Michael Archer. Bowling well. Oh, straight through again. The appeal there for a stumping. Umpire not convinced. But Michael Archer, what an over. One ball to go, Will. What are the chances of a wicket maiden?
Oh, it'd be nice for the Gades, wouldn't it? They'd love it.
They'd love it. And an absolute rarity in a T20 match. I talked it up too much there. Just flick that away behind square, and they'll come back for 2 runs. Good fielding again from the outfielders. I think that's Crone down there. And after 10 overs, the ACT Comets 5 for 56. So going at a run rate of 5.6 here, just not enough.
And I hate to disprove you, Dom, but last night, Matt Hammond, one of the local boys for Southern Districts, a 2-wicket maiden he had in the 4th of the innings. So very rare.
It's very rare indeed.
But have seen one already. Hopefully we see many more, because it is a pretty tight and tidy over. Something good to see in cricket.
Absolutely. Particularly when predominantly bowlers are under pressure in this form of the game. Normally it's the batsmen who are on the attack. We've just seen the Renegade spinners just take over here. And Nair back into the attack. There he is hiding the ball just behind his right leg. Another beautifully flighted delivery straight down the ground. Mid-on comes in. In fact, long on. Camped out there on the boundary. Just a single. So Rahman hasn't really seen much of the ball so far. Zach Marin finds himself back on strike. Just pushes that away through cover. And again, they jog through for a single.
Interestingly, Marin also a wicket keeper, but doesn't look like he's going to be pulling the gloves on today. I think he'd probably pick up position at first slip. Mikey McNamara will be pulling on the gloves later for the Comets.
Full toss. Cracked away there beautifully through mid-off. But again, only a single. So even when they're having a crack, Will, singles are the order of the afternoon so far for the Comets, and not what they're after. On the bounce, again, a cracking shot, and fielder just unable to get into the right position there, slipping over. They'll come through for the second. Well done there from Marin.
Just 61 off 64 balls. Nowhere near enough. They really need to pick up in the second half of this innings.
Just back of point there, and again, no run. So the Renegades, they are doing this comfortably at the moment. There's no pressure on the fielders at all. One of these batsmen is really going to have to make the call to say, okay, I'm going to go on the attack here.
Oh,
Marin misses that one completely. So beautifully bowled by Nair, and that's the end of his third over. 1 for 15 from Arjun Nair, and after the 11th, the ACT Comets 5 for 61. Renegades won the toss here today, decided to bowl, and they'd be extremely happy with the bowling effort of, in fact, all their bowlers now, and I certainly include Harry Hoekstra in that. He had a poor first over, but his comeback over in the 7th was excellent. So Peak, captaining here today, would be really pleased with his bowling unit and what they've put on so far.
yeah, he conceded just 5 runs, Harry Hoekstra, in his second over. That was back in the 7th. And really, since then, I think the most that they've conceded was 8 from Michael Archer. Otherwise, 5s, 4s, 3s, and a 2 from Michael Archer. Just 2 overs ago. That was almost that wicket maiden we spoke of, but they squeezed through 2 on that last ball. Xavier Croner, he comes back into the attack. He got the first wicket of the innings. That was the first ball of his first. Tom Brosey got out.
Crone, a little bit of a slower delivery there and pursues the ball. They just jog through for a single. Little push onto the offside there. So Rahman, the man, taking that quick single there, and he's looked relatively comfortable, Will, so perhaps these conditions are suiting him. His Darwin experience standing him in good stead here, and I see him just having a chat to Zach Marin, so maybe he's seeing a few things that the others aren't. But one of them certainly needs to try and take on Crone here, put this field and the bowlers under some pressure, because they are under none at the moment. Good delivery, quick delivery, taken by Lemire. Just proving to be too good at the moment.
Yeah, they are. The bowling's been very tight, and the fielding has been cracking as well. A lot of direct hits, which haven't quite caught the batsman off guard too many times yet. We did have 1 run out, which was Tom Hogan prematurely in his eyes, but very, very tight fielding. Very tight bowling. Setting themselves up nicely, the Renegades.
Crone with a slower delivery, and that's been flicked over and caught. Nothing's working here. Caught at fine leg. So the man out, Zach Marin, 5 runs off 11 deliveries, and just looking too easy for the Renegades here. Disappointingly for the Comets. Crone picks up his second. So 2 for 9 here in his third over.
Caught by Brown by the looks of it.
Yeah, just fielding there. Perfect position. Sitting just outside the circle there at fine leg and was flicked straight to him. Hardly had to move. Zach Marin would be disappointed with that. Just made it too easy.
I think it was that reverse sweep. Again, not paying off at all.
Yes, Scott Mearn, the man coming to the crease. Captain for the ACT Comets. And there it was, the wicket ball. Just made it a little bit too easy for them there. Zach Marin flicking that one over his left shoulder. Crone be enjoying this. Scott Mearn taking a moment. Performed well in last year's competition, did Scott Mearn. Let's see what he's got today against Crone. Has to play the defensive shot immediately. Crone really working into his groove in this over. He's got his head up. Chest out, 2 wickets taken. Still having to work his way into a pretty handy breeze here. at TIO Stadium. So a warm day, but at least the players have got a bit of movement in the air out there. Quick delivery. Out through point. Shy at the stumps, and the fielders again in really good position as they come through for the single. Rahman lost his bat on the way through. So just a single to the score here. Crone 2 for 10 so far. And the Comets sitting on 6 for 63. It's gone the bouncer. Rahman just flays that through cover. And just the single coming off the last delivery of Crone's over. So 2 for 11 from his 3. 6 for 64 on the board for the ACT Comets. $12 overs down now out of their 20.
They could be touch and go for the triple figures, Dom. I know they're sort of on track for it at the moment now, but that batting lineup's only going to get thinner from here. They've really struggled to get off the mark all day, their batters. Looks like it might be Keogh with 15, the top scorer at the moment, nowhere near enough. Scott Mern in at the moment. He is the captain of the side, and Rahman a local boy.
So Rahman facing up to Hoekstra here. Oh. Mern looking to go for the quick single. Rahman not open to that at all. And a no ball for Harry Hoekstra to start here. Which I thought Scott Mern was right too, to try and take off their will for the single. Rahman, I don't think he had sight of the ball, but needed to honour the captain's call. Have an opportunity here though, and perhaps they've got to target Hoekstra in this over. He's already bowled a no ball, so Rahman now with the free hit.
Bang.
Bang goes Rahman. Out through cover. The catch is taken. They jog through for the single. And Mern will now be on strike. So just did not make the most of that opportunity there, Rahman. The free hit off Hoekstra. Into his 3rd over now. A no ball and a 1 coming from it so far.
Yeah, and even when they're sort of cracking it, then just not capitalising enough on these balls, the ACT batsmen.
Scott Mern now, experienced campaigner. Could not get that one away. That was a good follow-up again from Hoekstra. He did that consistently in his first over, even though he conceded 15 runs. After each no ball, he tightened his opponent up in a really positive fashion. Doing the same here. So a good contest between the up-and-comer in Hoekstra and an experienced player in Mern. Another good delivery, just out through point. Shy at the stumps was miles over. Scott Mern easily through for the single. We keep saying it here, Will. It's only in singles, and they need much more.
Yeah, just the one boundary from this innings. That was off a no ball in that first over.
What can Rahman do here? On the bounce, he began to charge him. Pulled that away through mid-wicket, and again, only the single. And another no ball, Will. Another front foot no ball from Harry Hoekstra. That's his 2nd now in this over. He had 4 of them in his first over. Bowled a beautiful second over.
You wonder what the approach is. I mean, he didn't have a good first over, really tightened up in that second over, but given they're in a pretty strong position, do you think maybe just make sure you are keeping that foot and that ball legitimate?
Free hit. Flayed straight down the ground from Scott Mern. Will this go all the way? It will. That's a beautiful shot. Down to long off, crosses the boundary, and the ACT Comets have their 2nd boundary of the innings. So 4 runs to Scott Mern. 6 off 5 he is. Rahman 9 off 11. And the ACT Comets, they move to 6 for 73 midway through this 13th over. Need more of that. They need to target Hoekstra here. Oh, that's a good delivery. Mern just got that one away on square. And Rahman dashes through for the single.
Second most expensive over of the innings so far. 10 runs, 1 ball to come.
Good fielding again from Oliver Peake. He was quickly onto that. Captain camped at square leg. Rahman back into his crease. Flicks that up and over square leg. Just doesn't have the carry on it to go to the boundary, but that's a much better intent there from the Comets, and Rahman cruises through for 2 runs. So Will, as you said, an expensive over coming off Harry Hoekstra there. His figures none for 32 after his 3. And the Comets 6 for 76 after 13. Rahman 11 off 12 and Mern 7 from 6. Even from a personal perspective, Will, those personal figures are looking much better. You know, going at almost a run a ball, and in Scott Mern's case, more than a run a ball. They have to keep that going now. Yeah,
they still need to keep building, but I think if they just at least maintain where they are, maybe try and grab a few extras, they can set maybe a competitive total that they can try and defend. But, gee, it's going to be tough, especially I think Hoekstra's probably the vulnerable one, and he's done 3 of his 4 overs at the moment, so they've only got 1 more of him. Otherwise, been really tight.
Callum Stowe back into the attack, and his first ball is a wicket.
It's going to be hard from there.
Oh, that is superb from Callum Stowe. It is going to be hard, Will. You're absolutely spot on. So Scott Mern, just as he was starting to look as though he was adapting to the conditions and striking the ball well, he goes. Clean bowled, 7 off 7. Stowe, his figures looking sensational. 2 for 8. First ball of his 3rd over. And the Comets now deep trouble, 7 for 76.
Yeah, Stowe, 7 off 7. Not what he would have wanted, not what the team would have needed from their captain either. And I think for Stowe, that's his 2nd wicket. His other also a bowl. Jake Smith, I think it is coming in to the attack now. Batting at number 9.
So the ACT Comets in real trouble. 7 for 67. Callum Stowe bowling very nicely indeed. Just taken his 2nd, and what a time for Smith to come to the crease.
Another local boy playing with, again, Tracy Village up here in Darwin, the Darwin District cricket competition.
Good first ball there from Callum Stowe, and just dabbed away to the leg side there by Smith.
As you'd expect, coming at number 9 though, Smith, a leg spinner rather than a batsman.
On the bounce, he's pulled that one away beautifully on the leg side, straight through the boundary. Well, some real intent there from Smith. No time like the present to do that.
They might turn him into a batsman yet, Dom.
They just may. 2 players playing in the local competition, so they'll know the conditions here. They also know what they've got to do, and that is they have to score some runs. They're running out of wickets, so there's almost no choice now, Will. Cracked that through nicely, so Smith. Another nice delivery from Callum Stowe. Squared him up. Lemire took that beautifully. So an interesting over so far from Stowe. Wicket dot, 4 dot. Just dab that onto the offside there. Smith, and again, the fielders are confident. They're in close, working together as a real unity, the Renegades. Clean bowled.
Bang.
He's got his third, has Callum Stowe. Jake Smith just cannot believe it. Cannot believe that that's beaten him, but it has. He has to go. It was a short but enterprising innings. 1 boundary, 4 or 5 for Jake Smith and Callum Stowe. 3 for 12 off his 3 overs, and that over bookended with wickets. So 8 for 80 are the ACT Comets. 14 overs down here at TIO Stadium.
Yeah, 8 for 80 is not where they would have wanted to have been at the 14th over mark by any stretch at all. Would have looked relatively promising yesterday for the ACT Comets in their game. They had a top score of 66 to Zach Key. I think today he's again the top scorer, but with just 15. End up going down by 4 wickets to the Hurricanes.
But that was a close run thing. That was a match that they took to the last over.
Not sure if they'll even get to the last over if their innings the way it's going at the moment. 8 wickets down, 14 overs.
Let's have a look at that wicket again. Callum Stowe has just bowled beautifully here today. Gee. Went behind him and clean bowled him. Archer now into the attack. That's just pushed straight back down the ground by Rahman. And they run through for the single. No wonder Jake Smith was a bit bemused as to what had happened there, because it actually went behind him and hit his leg stump. So Brunker, the new bat in, about to take strike. Just eases that one behind square. Jogs through for the single. It's been a story of the day, really, hasn't it, Will? We've said that so many times today. They've jogged through for the single. And it's just not enough. 8 for 82, early stages of this, the 15th over.
And again, still trailing at less than a run a ball.
Just pushes that one away into the covers, and again they will. Jog through for the single. Rahman's been the anchor thus far. Feels like he's been out there for ages, and he's only faced the 14 deliveries. Oh, up in the block hole from Archer. That's beautifully bowled. He's getting, you tell he's getting more confident. He's working through this over really quickly. Only the 3 singles conceded thus far. Another beautiful delivery. 1 ball to go in this, the 15th over. Archer enjoying his time out in the middle.
Archer been really tight today with the ball as well. One of the inclusions in today's side.
Nice delivery again to finish off, and they're calling it a wide again. A little bit of magic from the wicketkeeper, seeing if he can pull the wool over the umpire's eyes. He's having nothing of it there. So a wide call. So a slight blemish to this over. Toss that one up well. Gets that one away through mid-wicket. And for the single, does Brunker. So 2 from 4 for him. Rahman 13 or 14. The ACT Comets 15 overs down here. 8 for 85. And Archer after 3. He's bowled really nicely. 1 for 15.
Goes with Archer's 10th over. He got a wicket on the first ball and then 2 on the last ball. And 8 in his first, back in the 5th over of the match. Just one of many who've been very, very tight with their bowling today.
Callum Stowe back into the attack here. Another beautiful delivery to start with too. Brunker didn't know anything about that one. This match is just racing away from the ACT Comets. Bat on ball for Brunker, but straight back to Stowe. The wind just picking up here. Nice flighted delivery and the reverse sweep. Will, we've seen that cause so many problems for the batsman in this comp so far. And Brunker nearly got himself into a bit of strife there as well.
Brunker, just 19 years old.
Struggling here against Callum Stowe. Manages to push that one away into the covers and jog through for a single. They're just having a nice time out there, the Renegades. Had a good win yesterday. That was a good contest between the crosstown rivals yesterday, the Renegades and the Stars Academy teams. Down into the last over. Callum Stowe, quicker ball, reverse sweep, gets it away, no run. Callum Stowe appealing. Nothing doing, says the umpire.
It's a bit of a topsy-turvy game yesterday, sort of swings and roundabouts, but Renegades definitely the better side over the course of it.
On the bounce from Callum Stowe, and Rahman just dabs that back to him, and what a good over. The single conceded, 4 overs done. Well done, Callum Stowe. 3 for 13 are his figures, and his captain, Oliver Peake, will be really, really pleased with his effort here today. That's the end of his 4. And so after 16 overs here, the ACT Comets 8 for 86. Nair to come back into the attack, and this will be his 4th over. So Peake moving his way through his spinners. I dare say looking to bowl them out, and he'll probably be hoping to be taking the final wickets with the spinners, Will.
Yeah, you'd think so. Only 2 left. That could easily come this over. Nair's threatened. He's only got the 1 wicket today, but he's looked really, really tight. That unique bowling style.
A little bit of flight off the toe of the bat. Just out on the leg side, and they jog through for 1. Brunker looking to flip that one away through gully, but nothing doing. Rahman hasn't seen much of the strike, really. And just pushes that one back to Nair. What would you do, Will, if you were out there in the middle?
It's a good question. It's a tough one. You wouldn't want to go out too easily.
Rahman pulls that one away behind square.
But I think you'd want to show a little bit of fight like he has there. Just sort of have a swing and have a crack at it. Nothing too risky, but just show that at least you're trying to reach those boundaries.
I thought Callum Stowe might have lost that ball in the sun there for a moment. Looked like he stepped one way and the ball was going the other. Still only the single conceded. Shot there from Brunker. Long on coming in from the boundary to field, and again, even though the shot was a little more expansive than usual, just 1 run added.
Oh,
Rahman taking an opportunity there. It's going to fall short, and again they'll run through for the single. Trying. You can see that they're both trying here. The intent's right. Just unable to get these spinners away. They've all been superb, I should say, and Nair is just continuing this over in a really positive fashion.
it doesn't look panicked, but it does look like they sort of have hit that point now. They realise we need to actually start trying to make something of this innings, because it's not going to last for much longer. Would have liked to have seen that earlier in the innings.
Brunker, he's out. he is out. Missed that completely, and quick work from Lemire behind the stumps to whip the bails off. So Nair finishes his 4 overs and takes a second wicket with the last delivery. 2 for 19 is Nair, and the Comets, very even. They were 8 for 80, and now they're 9 for 90 at the end of the 17th over.
What comes first, Dom? The triple figures or the 10th wicket?
Well, I don't know. I think potentially the 10th wicket is probably my guess. And I think this is where I was going when asking you the question as to what would you do if you were out in the middle. You know, do you take the risk of trying to add extra runs? You're losing wickets rapidly anyway. I think they really needed to take the risk of trying to go for the extra runs. And Rahman and Brunker, I think, to their credit, they were actually trying to do that.
Yes.
And they had to do that. The Rahman's still out there, and he's going to face this over here from Archer. Tries to just force that one away through extra cover and couldn't get it away from Archer.
Sam Skelly now joins him at the crease. Sharp fast bowler playing Premier Cricket New South Wales. Has been around ACT cricket for many years now.
On the bounce, Rahman now pulls that one. A misfield, probably the only one we've seen today. Do they go through for the second? They don't. So the captain there not able to grab that one cleanly. And the new batter at the crease for his first opportunity. Skelly, I should say. Archer. Tossed right up, straight through him. Lemire couldn't take it cleanly either. That was a quicker ball there from Archer. He's looking for his second wicket. He has 3 more opportunities here. Skelly gets that one away.
Not having that one extra wicket in hand definitely changes things, Dom. I think from here, if you know that once you're out, it's done, you're probably just trying to ride out the remaining, what are we?
Well, we've got
14 balls.
Yeah, you've 2.5 overs still to go. Oh, he's taken the catch beautifully. On the bounce. Gee, they were quick hands there from Archer. Beautifully done. That's just wonderful fielding off your own bowling. Last delivery through point, and Rahman says, no, do not go for the run. Do not go for the run. Point was in fast. So Archer is bowled out, bowled beautifully. 1 for 16 off his 4. He can be really pleased with that. His captain will be really happy with him. So after 18 overs, the ACT Comets 9 for 91. So Archer's last over conceded just the single. Will, he's bowled really well, hasn't he, coming into this team?
Yeah, he has. Maybe a little bit nervous at the start, especially given Harry Hoekstra, the other player coming in, was a little bit nervous, but no, he's done very well, Michael Archer, especially that one, just one off it. I think that along with Callum Stowe earlier, has been the best bowling we've seen so far. No maidens in this innings yet. One wicket as well for Archer.
He'd be pretty happy with his afternoon's work, I think. Crone now back into the attack. Cracking shot away there from Rahman. Again, though, just cannot pierce the field. And the Comets have had this problem all innings. When they do play a good shot, the fielding has been up to the mark. So Crone now into his last over. Figures of 2 for 12 presently. And you're right, Will. Skelly and Rahman, they need to bat out these 2 overs and just accumulate as many runs as they can. Skelly, that's a terrific shot. Straight through backward point, hits the fence for 4, and that will really help the cause to get the Comets to triple figures. So Skelly, his first runs off his 5th ball. Nice boundary. 96 on the board. Can they reach the triple figures? That's the aim.
They needed to start hitting it like that about 16 overs ago, Dom.
They just weren't able to, Will. The bowling has just been too good, and it's been well supported by some good fielding and good captaincy from Peak. Oh, slower ball. Well bowled by Crone. Skelly didn't know anything about that delivery. You could see it just died on him and trying to reach for it. Got a smile on his face, having a bit of a laugh. He knows he looked a bit silly with that one, but that's just how it runs. No doubt he'll be trying to do exactly the same to the Renegades later on. So Crone with 3 deliveries to go here in this, the 19th over. He'll be enjoying bowling from the McMillan's Road end here. He's got the breeze at his back, although it's a little bit swirly here. And it does do that here at TIO Stadium. 1 minute it appears to be blowing one way, and next minute you're running into it, which Crone's doing. Skelly could not get bat on ball there.
Yeah, those flags at the moment, they're all pretty strong in one direction, but they've been all over the shop today, Dom.
2 more balls to come in this over. Umpires, you can see them just checking with each other there. The umpires today, Rob Stewart and Simon Burns. We appreciate all their efforts. Crone, a slower delivery again, beautifully bowled. And again, Skelly did not know too much about that at all.
There's also the third option, Dom, and they just bat out, but they don't quite make triple figures. 7 balls left in this innings. Maybe the 20 overs will come first.
Last ball now for Crone. Doesn't go for the slower one on this occasion. Skelly gets it away back a square. They run through for a single. They'll come back for 2 and they'll make it. Well done. Put some pressure on the field, did Skelly. Was an early call for the second. And Crone closes out his 4 with figures of 2 for 18. The ACT Comets after the 19th move on to 9 for 98. Can they get there?
Looks like it is going to be Harry Hoekstra, the youngster who came in opening and closing the Renegades innings. This time, I think it's his first for the day coming from the southern end, Dom, from the airport end here at TIO Stadium in Darwin, Larrakia country.
Oh, I love the captaincy from Peak. That's really good. Just acknowledging our partners here this afternoon. Top End T20 Series, major partner Tourism NT, the NT Government, Northern Territory Major Events Company, Bet365, the Airport Development Group, DXC Technology, Thrifty, Kookaburra, Territory Sports Medicine and Gatorade. Oh, pulled away nicely from Rahman. There's a catcher there. It's going to get him on the first bounce. They come through just for the single. So Rahman looking to take Hoekstra on, which is what he's got to do. This is the last over. They're sitting on 9 for 99. Great captaincy from Peak, I think. Giving the youngster the opportunity here to bowl in the final over. He opened the innings. He's going to close it out. Great experience. That's a good delivery. Taken by Lemire.
Of course, this is Super Saturday, Dom, the first of 4 games here in the Marara Complex. Coming later today, you've also got the Stars and Hurricanes, a Big Bash League matchup. Then here at TIO Stadium, Pakistan versus the Perth Scorchers, and later, international clash, Bangladesh versus Nepal.
Hoekstra on the bounce. Skelly just gets that one onto the leg side, and they come through again just for 1. So well done, Hoekstra.
Finally hit triple figures, the ACT Comets, so they did get there. Amazing to think 15 of those came in that first over. Since then, it's been pretty thin pickings.
Been very difficult for them. Bowling's been good. Oh, Hoekstra's bowled a no ball. Rahman just pushes that one for a single. Pete coming straight in to Hoekstra here just to have a chat. A free hit now for Skelly. Got to try and get as many runs as they can through these final 3 legal deliveries of the innings. Although, to be fair, I don't think a score only slightly over 100 is going to be enough, although in this game, anything can happen. On the bounce is Hoekstra, and Skelly pulls that one behind square. Comes back for the 2. He's done well, the big man. So the Comets, they move on to 9 for 104. Skelly 9 from 12. And Rahman's been the anchor there now. 19 off 24. Hoekstra with 2 to come.
Rahman, top scorer for ACT with just those 19.
Yes, you know you've struggled if your top scorer has only got 19 runs. Skelly straight down the ground. That's a powerful shot. Not going to reach the boundary. Fielder there from long on comes in and fields nicely. Crone it is. But Hoekstra only conceding the single there. It's a 7 from this final over so far. 1 delivery to come. 1 legal delivery, that is. Hoekstra's figures none for 39. What can Rahman do? He's gone the reverse, nearly hit a catch, scoots through for a single, and that will close out the innings. Fittingly almost, that they were only able to run a single on the last ball. So the Comets finish on 9 for 106 from their 20 overs. Hoekstra none for 40 from his 4. Skelly on 10 from 13, Rahman 20 from 25. So the Renegades won the toss here today. They chose to bowl, and they will be very pleased with their bowling efforts here. Crone bowled beautifully here today. He took a wicket early, and the reverse sweep, I have not seen that work once so far. So there were some beautiful deliveries from Crone, beautiful deliveries from the spinners. Callum Stowe there bowled well. Archer, the spinner, you see him there taking leg stump. They were just on fire, weren't they, Will?
Yeah, absolutely. I think they kept sort of a really good groove for themselves, but also enough variety that the batters could never really quite find their groove, and that's just evident by the fact that the top scorer, I think in the end it was only 17 runs from Rahman, 20 in the end. But beautiful bowling nonetheless. And so it looks like the Renegades will be chasing 107. That's the first innings here from Game 6 of the top End T20 Series.
Are you looking to hit your studies for 6? Make the move to Australia's Northern Territory and start a world-class partnership where your potential can glide through boundaries and you can rack up runs in places you've never imagined. Enjoy our laid-back lifestyle and help us build what's next. When this over is over, think about getting on a good wicket and consider studying in Australia's Northern Territory. Authorised by the Northern Territory Government, Darwin.
When you move here, it's not just for work, it's for life. Here, culture isn't something you leave behind. It's something you bring with you and share. Great jobs, no long commutes, and weekends that start as soon as Friday ends. From the red desert to the tropical north, this place doesn't just welcome you, it transforms you. Australia's Northern Territory. New boundaries, new territory.
Are you looking to hit your studies for six? Make the move to Australia.
Welcome back here to TIO Stadium. Great to have you with us. My name is Dominic McCormack. I've got Will Zwar with me here in the commentary box. And it is the ACT Comets needing to defend 106 runs. They made 106 from their 20 overs. And now the Melbourne Renegades Academy team will be looking to score 107 runs. And they just need slightly under 6 runs and over, Will, which normally would be pretty easy, I dare say, but this T20 game is a very strange game sometimes. Anything can happen.
Yeah, absolutely. Look, I think looking at the Melbourne Renegades lineup there, particularly the top order, Oliver Peake, he's the captain, and Josh Brown, he is a well-known big hitter. Harry Dixon, another one who I think's been known to hit the ball around the park a little bit at Big Bash level too, but Josh Brown is the one who, he sort of threatened yesterday in the game against the Stars, but he could almost make that total by himself if he wanted to. 5.35 per over, 20 overs to do it in. I don't think there'll be any issues with that at all. However, as you say, it's a strange game, and all they need is one bowler maybe to get on a roll, and could lose some quick wickets and a lot of wind out of their sail. It was a strange innings from the Comets. They lost 15 in the first over. Most of those were to no balls and to extras. And apart from that, it was a relatively tight innings. Just one other over went for more than 10 runs, and quite a few for just 1 or 2 or 3.
Yes, indeed, a bit strange. You sort of get off to a flyer in some ways, but after that, they just struggled to score boundaries, didn't they? As we see the umpires are taking their way onto the field here. Rob Stewart and Simon Burns, and both teams, as in the openers for the Renegades, are on, and the Comets also working their way out there. Still a beautiful day here in Darwin, Will. Certainly a breeze blowing, which is nice to have the air moving around the place. It is our winter here, but winter in Darwin means at about this time of the afternoon, it's around about 30 to 31 degrees. Still some humidity around, but beautiful conditions for playing cricket. Perhaps a bit hot for some of these players, given that most of them indeed would be coming from sort of Melbourne or the Canberra regions. There are a couple of players, of course, who are local players from here in Darwin, but most of them, they're deep in winter, and a very, very cold winter at the moment. So warm conditions here this afternoon.
Yeah, currently 29 degrees and a 34% humidity, making that feels like temperature 30. Just having a quick look, Melbourne, for instance, only 12 degrees at the moment. So paradigm shift between what it is up here and what it is for the southern Australian winter. But yeah, very beautiful weather for cricket. A fair bit of wind, as we mentioned a few times in the broadcast. The TIO Stadium and DXC Arena, where majority of the games are going to be played over this tournament, and all games on this Super Saturday, is in the Marara Sporting Complex here in Darwin. You got hockey, the World Game, football, Aussie rules, cricket, squash courts, even rugby league, rugby union, even shooting and netball and basketball, all held at this complex. But it is under and right next to the airpath and the Darwin International Airport, meaning you can get some pretty strong gusts up here. ACT Comets starting their bowling innings now.
And in comes Juby with the first ball of the innings, and he has bowled a wide. Brown, the man on strike. So a similar start in some respects. We saw Hoekstra bowl a no ball with his first delivery on behalf of the Renegades. So Juby starting with an extra. So the Renegades are off the mark in some respects already. None for one. And he comes again. That's a better delivery. Just pushed out through the covers now. Jogged through for a single. So Brown opens his account with that. Bat on ball straight away.
Juby, interestingly, opening the bowling. He was also the number 2 batsman, so part of the opening partnership there as well. Playing a big role in today's game, although that batting innings was over relatively quickly. I think he might have been the first to drop.
Oliver Peake, the captain for the Renegades, now taking strike for his team. Played well yesterday. One of the key reasons why they had a good win against the crosstown rival in the Melbourne Stars. Oh, that's a nice delivery from Juby. Peake just hanging the bat out straight through to the keeper. Umpire there just having a chat with Juby. May have been just giving him a little encouragement not to stray onto that corridor of the pitch where they just do not want anyone running. Needs all the encouragement he can get out there today, Juby. They need quick wickets. Oh, he's popped that one up as Peak straight over the infield. And they jog through for 2. So cover tosses that one back in. They move to 4 without loss already in this first over. So you look at that run rate already, Will. 8 runs. The run rate required 5.28. Quick wickets is the order of the day for the Comets if they wish to try and really make something of this game. And Juby has successfully bowled another wide here. So while it's not a no ball providing free hit, it's a very, very similar start to Harry Hoekstra's first over. A few extras conceding some runs as well. Next delivery is just dabbed away back a point. Nicely fielded back there. They come through again for an easy single. I think that's been my most overused terminology today, the easy single, the quick run.
Yes, it'll be interesting to see how the Renegades approach, if they just think slow and steady wins the race, or if maybe they can sense an early finish.
Brown opening up the stance there, and he flares that one up over cover. Will come back for 2. The ball a couple of metres away there from the boundary, but not reaching the rope, of course. I think that's your answer right there, Will, is that Brown just looking to open the shoulders there straight away. The early stages, of course. The field's in. He's not going to be shy and trying to go over the top, I don't think.
No, not at all. He's definitely got that weapon in his arsenal. Looks like he'll bring it out at points today.
On the bounce, bang, there it goes. And you called it, Will. That is a cracking shot, quite literally, from Joshua Brown. And that is the biggest 6 that we have seen so far today. Big shot from a strong man. And Brown, he's rocketed along already. 9 from 3 balls. And the Renegades, they are none for 14 after the end of this first over. So Juby, after a couple of wides and a few singles, finishes his first over at none for 14. And so very similar to the start of the Comets innings, where Harry Hoekstra walked away after his first over at none for 15. Also with a 6.
Yeah, absolutely. Yes. I think the Renegades seem a little bit more capable of hitting more than just the one for their innings based on what we've seen there. Maybe not the best start for Doobie. 14 off the first.
No, and looks like they might have lost the ball here too. Brown has just put that over the well-named cow corner and it's gone. So we might see the box come out shortly for a new ball. In fact, the gentleman down there on the boundary is waiting with box in hand. Surely they can find it out there. Just a powerful hitter is Joshua Brown, and he certainly demonstrated it on that occasion.
Yeah, and at the same time, it didn't quite look he put heaps into it either. He just sort of had a little swing and bang, over it's gone.
Yeah, so much of it is timing, isn't it, really? Strength is one part of it, but just being able to time the ball. Some of the best batsmen in the world, of course, are only small men and small women. You think of batters like Alyssa Healy for a start, and she can just thrash the ball magnificently. You know, the great Sachin Tendulkar, Virat Kohli, they are not big men, and yet they hit the ball beautifully.
So out with a new ball.
So Nick Brose into the attack and spin into the attack. So extremely similar here to the way that the Renegades approach their bowling lineup. I think Nair took the ball in the third over. And Bros here taking the ball in the second. Peak on strike. He goes at it straight away and flicks that away through mid-wicket for a single. So Peak 4 from 4. Brown 9 from 3. They're in control already in this batting innings, the Renegades. Somehow here the ACT Comets have to build some pressure. Brown, that's a cracking shot again. Wonderful sound off the bat. Good fielding at extra cover. And they restrict that to just the 1 run. That was well done there. Hogan, I think it was. Tom Hogan got himself into position, knocked it down. Peak tries to go through backward point. No run. Just a little tickle down there on the leg side from Peak and gets away with a single.
Bros featured in the last 3 top end series. Interestingly, looking at the scorecard, Dom.
Brown again powerfully through that shot. Nicely fielded out there at mid-wicket.
And Bros and Juby, both opening batters, both opening bowlers. They've opted for the two of them to kick-start them both on the pitch and in the field.
Well, he's only conceded 4 singles so far, Nick Bros, so this has been a good over. As soon as I say that, Peak up and under. They need to take this catch. Opportunity here. Bounces just in front of the fielder. Peak comes back for the second. Bros gives his teammate a clap. That was a good effort there from Kai Brunker. May have hurt his hand too as he went for that. Might have just got it on the edge of the fingers, but that was a dead set opportunity there to remove one of the very good batters here for the Renegades. They couldn't take it. So at the end of the second over, Nick Bros is none for 6. And the Renegades, none for 20 already, Will.
Yeah, very good start to the innings from the Renegades. At the same time, ACT, after 2 overs, they were on 19. So pretty similar scores, but we know how the rest of that innings panned out as well for the Comets.
We do. Fascinating how similarly they've started so far. Almost the same score from each over.
Looking like it'll be Scott Mearn, the captain, now taking it upon himself to try and grab that first wicket for the Comets.
Brown on strike. Oh, that's a nice delivery to start up with first. Wicketkeeper had a little bit of difficulty handling that. Mikey McNamara down there. A dot ball. In fact, Skelly it is. So Skelly has his first opportunity. A strongly built bowler. Did his best in the batting innings, did Skelly. In strongly again. Brown just pushes that one out to cover, no run. Can hear some good talk out there from the Comets, and they need to do that. Approach this innings really positively. Got to build pressure. So Sam Skelly, a good start to his over here. Dot balls. And he comes again. Nice pace. Straight through to the wicketkeeper. So posing some problems here for Joshua Brown. Getting some encouragement from his teammates is Skelly.
Really good start by Skelly. Maybe it is going to be a bowler's day after all.
Just never know. T20 cricket is a strange, strange game. Up it goes, cracked away. Beautiful shot up and over cover. And he finds the deep cover boundary, does Joshua Brown. He's such a powerful striker of the ball. So Skelly concedes a boundary after 3 dot balls, and Brown moves on to 15 from 9. Peak sitting at the other end on 7 off 7. More importantly, the Renegades none for 24 into this third over. Slower ball, read beautifully by Joshua Brown, straight down the ground, and that is the second 6 of the innings, and a second 6 to Joshua Brown. So after 3 dot balls, Skelly has now been taken for 4 and 6. 4 over cover was fantastic. The 6 straight down the ground. What a shot. Brown rush now, 21 off 10, and the Renegades already none for 30.
Again, that run rate back up again. Just 77 required off 17.1.
That one through to the wicketkeeper, couldn't take it. Jog through for 1, coming back for the 2. He's waiting for the signal here from the umpire whether that's wides. He's called that wides. So that will have to be re-bowled by Sam Skelly. Josh Pratt just whipping that one away forward of square. Another single added to the total. So Sam Skelly conceding the 2 big boundaries. And Josh Brown, 22 off 11. Peak 7 from 7. The Renegades none for 34 after 3. Run rate required, only 4.5. And they're going at nearly 12.
Yeah, Brown will keep strike as well, and why wouldn't you when you're starting to hit them like he has so far? Peak showing a little bit, but Brown definitely the big hitter and ready to show a little bit of flair here as well. Changing up the bowling again, the ACT Comets. And it looks like it's going to be Sam Rahman, one of the boys playing for the local Tracy Village team in this ACT Comets side.
Oh, Joshua Brown opening up the shoulders on that too and making no contact. So dot ball to start with there for Rahman. Few field positions being made here. Pretty obvious that Joshua Brown is going to go for his shots here, Will, that's for sure. Oh, that is a beautiful shot. That is another 6 from Joshua Brown. What a shot. He just flicked that up off his toes and cleared the boundary at deep square leg. Talk about making it look easy. Joshua Brown has just done exactly that. He is 28 off 13 balls, and the Renegades have rushed along to none for 40, bearing in mind that the run chase here is 107. So there's only 67 more runs to get from 100 balls. Oh, he's gone again. Off the outside edge of the bat. It's just going to trickle away here to the boundary. Wow. 1 minute it's over deep square leg for 6. Next minute it's a deep point for a 4. Joshua Brown not backing off here at all. 32 from 14. They're none for 44. 3 balls still to come from the Rahman over.
Brown managed 39 off 26 yesterday. So he's almost got there in half the balls. Not quite.
Oh, he goes again. This time doesn't make contact.
You can tell he's looking very confident out there. Look at that run rate. 12 at the moment, required just 3.86.
Yeah, clearly the Comets have not been able to put enough runs on the board here today. It's a game of containment for them at the moment. And the best way to do that is to take wickets, but that looks unlikely at the moment. It'll only be a mistake, an error from the Renegades that could potentially allow them back into the game. Cracking shot. Straight through to deep point. Another 4 on the board for Joshua Brown. And Rahman is really taking some punishment here in this 4th over. Brown moves to 36 off 16. Rahman having conceded 14 runs with a ball to come in this over.
Yeah, after that first over, and even within it, the Gades maybe looks like it could be a bit of a shaky wicket and it'd be a bowler's day. But they've really settled now.
Full toss, straight through, straight down the ground. What a shot. Rahman tried to field that off his own bowling. It was just too quick. Straight down the ground, clears the boundary at long off for a 4. So the Renegades, none for 52 after 4 overs. None for 52. Rahman's conceded 18 runs from that over. Brown's on 40 from 17.
Not quite halfway there yet, Dom, but 2 runs off. And they're 4 overs in.
That is a stunning, stunning effort thus far. Predominantly off the bat of Joshua Brown. And if you're the ACT Comets bowlers, and you've just seen that, don't know whether you're all that keen to have ball in hand, but the man who will be Tom Hogan.
Yes, he was their best bowler in the first game yesterday. They played against the Hobart Hurricanes, went down in that one as well. Tom Hogan, he managed 1 for 21, bowling economy of 5.25, their best bowler for the day.
Hogan facing Peak. Peak's just slashed that one away there through extra cover. Just the 1. So Hogan knows that they're looking to be aggressive, and that's both of them. Now he has to take on Joshua Brown, who's sitting on 40 from 17 deliveries. Getting the encouragement from his teammates. And he's just been pulled away. Opportunity there for the catch. He got a hand to it. It's cleared the boundary. So 6 off the second ball from Hogan. Joshua Brown is just going to go for these shots. 46 from 18 balls. The Renegades done for 59.
I don't know if Hogan's going to have quite the success with ball in hand as he did yesterday. Cracking shot there from Hogan.
He goes again, does Brown. Up and under. There is a fielder underneath this. Can he take the catch? He can. Brown is out. Will, you doubted Hogan. You doubted him, and he got him. That's very brave as a spinner. You've got to keep tossing the ball up. He did exactly that. And Brown out for 46, 4 shy of his half century. 46 from 19 balls. Hogan takes the wicket. 3rd ball of the over. His figures 1 for 7. So the Renegades 1 for 59 in the middle of the 5th over.
Again, Brown just ready to wield the bat there. Maybe a little bit too freely in the end, caught close to the boundary line. But I don't think his 46 is going to go unwarranted as well. He's definitely put a dent in that chase. He's almost scored half of that total required. 46, they're requiring a total of 107. And now they're already more than halfway there, thanks to Brown and his partnership with Peak. 59 runs they scored together, Peak with just the 8 off 8 balls.
Yeah, good catch too, taken out there at long off. For the Comets out there, Zach Keogh. Tall frame out there at long off. I thought at one stage there that he was going to take that ball and then step onto the boundary rope, but I don't think he was actually that close. So they've got a wicket.
48 required from 93.
So Hogan gets to face Lemire, the wicketkeeper, in at first drop here for the Renegades. Can Hogan tie up an end here? Got an opportunity to have a crack at a batsman who's only just come in. Just flicked away there, forward of square. They run the single. Good talk there between Lemire and Peake. They were considering the second, but decided not to go. Thought he might have been a little bit short on that occasion, Hogan. That one there's up in the block hole. Well done. Hit Hogan bowling beautifully here in this over. 1 for 8 off his first 5 deliveries. That one up in the block hole again. Almost a catch to Hogan. That ball up over to long on. So 1 for 9 from his first. That's a great effort from Tom Hogan. The Renegades 1 for 61 after only 5 overs. Their run rate sitting at 12s. They only need 3.
Yeah, Comets bowlers really need to make the most of their opportunities. They might only get 1 or 2 overs each year, just looking at how the Renegades are going. But for Hogan to take out Josh Brown is a massive wicket, and you'd be very happy with that. He did concede a 6 as well there, but I don't think he'd be too displeased with that given how the innings is looking so far as well. Looks like they'll bring in Kai Brunker into the bowling attack now.
Going with spin again, Will. Brunker. He's been charged there by Peake, but able to field off his own bowling. It's a tall man, Brunker. Got down quickly. Just tossed that one up nicely. Just dabbed away there by Peake, back of point. A scamper through for the 1. Brunker eager there to get into his work. Has an opportunity now to bowl to Lemire, who's only faced the 1 delivery. Only 45 needed from 88 deliveries here. Nice shot there through cover. Poor Rahman, he's gone to field that, and it's actually bounced up and hit him in his face there. They go through for a single. In fact, it was 2 runs. Rahman appears to be okay. They're just checking here with Rahman. They're asking for the trainers actually to come on because he was struck in the head with the ball. So just being very cautious here, of course. So Rahman is going to come from the ground here, and replacing him will be Nick Allen. In fact, it's Jake Smith, I'm sorry, number 13 out there, Jake Smith. Nice shot. And cut off by the man who's just come onto the ground at mid-off. Lemire 3 from 3. And that one there cracked away through point. Out towards the boundary, cut off though. They jog through for 2. Lemire's moved on to 5. So Brunker none for 5 from this, his first over. That's a nice shot straight down the ground over the head there of mid-off. Out towards the boundary, is going to cut it off nicely. They jog through for the 2. So well done, good pressure coming from the fielders there. And the end of Kai Brunker's first over. None for 7. The Renegades sit on 1 for 68 after 6 overs. Lemire on 7 and Peak on 10.
Slowed down a little bit, but nowhere near enough looking at that scoreboard at the moment. Just 39 required from 14 more overs.
And Rahman back onto the field, so that's good to see after taking a strike to the head with the ball.
Just a quick check up with the trainers and back on field.
Just a little bit awkward, just bounced up off his hand, I think, into his face. So just a precautionary check, which is very sensible. Smith now into the attack. And Peak on 10 to face him. Oh, they're appealing. I thought I heard a noise. The bat hit something or nothing. The umpire, he's the one that counts. He said it hit nothing. The wicketkeeper took the catch, or what he thought was a catch. So Peak remains 10 off 13. Mikey McNamara thought he'd taken a catch. He's tossed that one up, flicked that one away. That will go all the way for 4, down to deep, fine leg. Rahman jogging back to collect that. That's a nice little strike on the ball there from Oliver Peak, the captain of the Renegades. 14 from 14 now, and more importantly, the Renegades 1 for 72 they are, and we're only in the 7th over, chasing 107. Goes for it again, does Peak, through cover. Sliding in nicely there was Brunker. They come back for 2.
Steadying the ship now as well. Getting that run rate up a little bit more.
Peak, that's a beautiful shot. Straight down the ground. And 6. Wonderful clean strike of the ball there from Oliver Peak, the captain for the Renegades. And he's quickly taken his score here to 22 runs off 16 balls. They are looking to make short work of this ACT Comets total. The Renegades now hitting 80. They're 1 for 80. 2 balls to come in the 7th. Tossed up again. And Peak, he looks to take toll of that. He's a bit disappointed. Only the single.
Wants to retain strike, Dom.
Yes, he did. Hogan was the one who was cutting that off there at mid-off. Did well to keep it down to the single. Oh, that one's called a wide for sure. Not what Jake Smith would have wanted on that occasion. Lemire just letting that go. Full toss. Lemire straight down the ground. Picked up there at long on. And they come through for 2. So end of the 7th over there. Smith, none for 16 off his first. The Renegades, 1 for 84. Required run rate, Will, down to 1.77.
Shouldn't be too much of a drama for them. Credit to the Comets where it's due. They've had a couple of sundries along the way, but nowhere near as many as the Gades would have had at a similar time. And I guess part of that might be that it is sort of an opportunity for a team like the Melbourne Renegades and the Big Bash teams to try out some of their young talent. You did see quite a few sundries come off those players. But the bowling has been clean. There have been a few boundaries, but that's probably more due to just the talent at the other end of the field rather than sloppy bowling.
Hogan back on here for his second over. The left-handed Peak facing. Goes for the reverse on the pad. Looking for the run out. Gee, if it had been a direct hit. So they scamper through for 1, and it'll be called one leg by. Well, the Comets were up there. Hogan, the left armour. Thought that he might have had him LBW. Oh, he's gone for the big swing. And the stumping, there was an appeal for the stumping.
I think he gets his toe just in check there.
Oh. Umpires having to be so aware, Will. Been impressed with Hogan, Will. He's caused a bit of havoc out there. Took a wicket in his first over, of course, and this is second. He's done pretty well. Darts that one in quickly. That one popped up over the shoulder of Lemire. Going for 2. Coming back for 3 runs. That's beautifully run between Lemire and his captain in Peak. 3 runs added to the score. The Renegades 1 for 88. Peak on 23. Lemire's moved up to 12 runs with that nice cheeky little shot over the shoulder. Hogan just taking his time here. Darts that one in. Just dabbed away. Back of point. Peak's done well. Just continuing to tick the scoring along, aren't they? The big shot's not required. Let's just run the 1, run the 2s. Trying to score as much as possible.
Yeah, they don't need to do anything crazy here. They don't need to come out swinging, trying to hunt down a massive total. No sure thing just yet, but you'd think it's pretty close. 1 for 89.
Gone for the big shot there to make a liar of me, does Lemire. Fielded there at cover by Scott Mearn, the captain here for the Comets. Up in the block hole there from Hogan. Well done, and fields off his own bowling. Very impressive there from Tom Hogan. 1 for 13 off his 2. He's been very good. The Renegades 1 for 89 off 8 overs. Lemire on 12 off 10, and Peak 24 off 19.
Yeah, 1 for 89 off 8 overs. That target of 107. Now just 18 away if my math serves me correct, which isn't always the case, but 18 runs required from 12 overs. Doesn't seem too challenging a task. Lemire and Peak, as you said, I don't think they'll try to whip this over in 6 balls, but won't be wanting to hang around for too long either, Dom.
No, I think you're right. The ACT Comets, they've known from ball one of this Renegades batting innings that they're up against it. But I've loved the fact that they've stayed really positive in the field. You can hear the encouragement and see the way that they're moving. The body language is good. That's a real credit to them and their leadership group. As we see Mern coming in now, his first ball. Oh, just up over cover, but only just from peak. 2 runs added, but living slightly dangerously there was Oliver Peake. Good first up delivery there from Scott Mern. So captain to captain here. Up high, there's no one out there. That's not going to be a catch. In fact, it's going to be 6 runs. Keogh was trying to do his best to get there. That's a lovely strike of the ball from Oliver Peake. Hit that beautifully. The long on fielder trying to run all the way over to long off to take a catch, but boundary was easily cleared. Another wonderful 6. Just dabs that one onto the leg side, and Mern fielding there off his own bowling. Just keeps that down to the 1.
Could be out to make a liar of me as well, Dom. That total now down to just less than 10 runs required.
Yes.
3 balls left in the over.
I dare say that their target would have been to achieve the runs necessary in under 10. Or within 10, let me put it that way. So Lemire on strike here. 12 off 10. Cracked that one away. Just over square leg. They'll jog through for the 2. That's a lovely throw out there. Right over the stumps. And Mikey McNamara appreciating that throw there from his teammate. Juby, I think that was out there on the boundary.
They hit triple figures now.
Oh, he tried to get that one away again, Lemire. A bit of a shy at the stumps from Rahman. Just the 1. So yes, 1 for 101. 1 ball to come here in this 9th over from Scott Mern. He's conceded the 12 so far. And Oliver Peake, he could do it with this shot. Decides not to, just dabs it to backward point, and they run through for a single. So Oliver Peake will be on strike for the beginning of the 10th over. At the end of the 9th, however, the Renegades are 1 for 102. Peake on 34, Lemire on 15. A comfortable batting chase. Can be tricky, Will, sometimes the lesser scores, but the Renegades have really taken this one on professionally.
Yeah, absolutely, and it can sort of maybe restrict and limit your ability to actually shine as well if you only have, as we've seen here so far, 3 batsmen take to the pitch. Lemire himself, he's only had 12 balls as well of that, so it can restrict, I guess, your ability to shine, but I think all 3 have sort of done so within their capabilities too. Josh Brown's definitely been the biggest hitter of the 3 of them, and he's had a good crack at it, but then Peake and Lemire as well have just sort of steadied the ship and made sure that they attained that total without too much damage to their batting stocks.
It's a common statement to make, but they've all played their role, I think. Brunker now, that's a nice ball. Peake stepping away there and looking just to, perhaps as he has done on a number of occasions, just sort of dab that one down to backward point, but on that occasion, Brunker beat him. This time manages to get bat on ball, beats the fielder at backward point. So the man from cover having to come across and do exactly that, cover for his teammate. And they come through for 2. So score moving on here to 1 for 104. So only 3 runs required here now for the Renegades to win this match against the Comets. Peake on 36. Goes for the shot. Through point. Come back for 2. So the score's level here. 1 for 106, the Renegades. 3 balls to come, if required, in this, the 10th over of the innings.
Siren you might have heard in the background a little bit early, Dom.
Yes.
Still 1 or 2 more balls.
Still a few more balls. No sirens in T20 cricket. I like the way Kai Brunker's approaching this. He's still taking every ball very seriously here, moving his field around, trying to do whatever he can to take a wicket. Fires that one in. Ball goes to backward point. Lemire. Oh, that was on there. Lemire had run too far down. The return from Juby was excellent. Brunker couldn't get ball to hand, but direct hit, he would have been out by metres.
Yeah, he would have. Just a bit. Couldn't quite take it cleanly. Brunker.
Tosses that up again. And there it is. Through mid-wicket. Oliver Peake, the captain for the Renegades, hits the winning runs.
Just before that 10-over mark as well, Dom. So you're right, within
10
overs.
There it is. Lemire finishes on 15 from 12. Peake is there on 39 from 28. The Renegades 1 for 107 with 1 ball remaining in the 10th over. That's a very, very professional run chase there by the Melbourne Renegades Academy team, led by their captain in more ways than one, Oliver Peake. He led them beautifully in their bowling innings and hits the winning run there. So the Renegades winning this match 1 for 107, defeating the ACT Comets.